Do not attempt to adjust your screen. Someone is controlling all of your information input, all of your media viewing, and all of your political choices. Truth is out there. This is Reality Unplugged. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Unplugged Conspiracy Hour. Let's just, hold on. There we go. Now it doesn't feel like we're in a creepypasta. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Reality Unplugged. I hope everyone's having a great week, and I hope that you are all enjoying yourselves. You had a great Easter, and that everything is going well for you. Let's jump right into it. There are so many things popping up right now, and I know I feel like I got to do this, and it's going to set everybody off, but I want to make sure that everyone understands I am not a conspiracy nut. I don't go hunting for conspiracies. I'm still not really sure what QAnon is, or Quanon, or Qzar, or whatever. But it does not take a genius to understand that there's something going on. So sometime last month or the month before, Iran and China entered into a trade agreement, which meant that they were going to have agreeable trade deals together that were mutually beneficial. Now, shortly after this happened, a gigantic shipping ship called the Ever Given got stuck in the Suez Canal, blocking trade essentially for a little over a week. Billions of dollars of merchandise stuck in the Suez Canal that could not get through to other nations. What does this mean for the economy around the world? Anybody noticed your gas prices going up? One of the major things that goes through that Suez Canal, which is nothing but a gigantic waterway that cuts the trip down from going all the way around the continent to get to the other side, much like the Panama Canal does for North and South America. The number one thing that goes through that canal is crude oil, along with a whole bunch of other shipped goods. It's a little convenient, and seeing as Iran is one of the big producers of oil and China is on the continent right next to it, they're not having a whole lot of trouble getting what they need. The people that were impacted by this catastrophe were the Western cultures. Now, terrible coincidence. I understand. I read the articles. I know there were 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts that day. It's a very narrow canal. The only problem with that is that canal has been around for a long time. They have been navigating that canal through all kinds of weather conditions for over 100 years. The last time that there was a catastrophe like this that was about to impact the world was when England controlled the Suez Canal, and they were being attacked. And they thought, well, we'll just pull all of our people out. We'll pull all of our pilots out that know how to navigate the canal. And then everyone will have to give up because they won't be able to get through. Well, Egypt decided they'd just train their own pilots to get through so they didn't have to use England's. Worked out very well for them. And for all this time, we have enjoyed what has essentially been a shortcut, taking down the cost of trade with those countries. It has been played off as an accident. It's been played off as a freak of nature, just one of those things that you can't control. Until USA Today this last weekend published an article that online trolls had come out and tried to blame Egypt's first female captain for the accident. Now, first off, this captain wasn't anywhere near the ship when it ran aground. She was 100 miles away on another ship. That's not what's interesting. The interesting part is this story broke in an Arab newspaper several days before the incident happened. What does that mean, you ask? Well, I'll explain it to you. This was not an accidental catastrophe. The reason you know this is because before it even happened, the people either responsible or connected to the people responsible were already trying to lay the blame to take the view off of who might have actually done it. thought process goes something like this. We're going to cause a catastrophe. We need people not to look at us. People are already wondering about this first female captain in Egypt. Let's go ahead and blame her. Except someone broke the news a little too early. Now, has the Arab newspapers developed telepathic future-seeing reporters? Or did someone leak that something was going to happen and they went ahead and put it in the papers? I understand that it's a bit of conspiracy theory. It looks like a worldwide secret organization trying to block things, but it's a little bit too much of a coincidence when a newspaper comes out and says there's going to be an accident in the Suez Canal, and a few days later it happens. Something that has not happened for a century. Now, they've undug the Ever Given. They've got it back flowing. All of trade is caught up. Everything's back the way it should be. Prices, let's be honest, will probably never go back down. They might go down a couple cents, but once you raise prices to a certain point, you see the kind of money you can make on it, you don't really see a reason to lower the price back down, especially when the people who are buying from you are technically your enemy anyway. Let's move on to the home front. Now, we all know, according to, and I have to be very careful what I say because I had a video get pulled that was talking about this subject and they wouldn't tell me exactly what part of it was a breach, so I'm going to have to be very careful. I will not use the language they use though. It is the belief of several Americans that this last election was rigged, that it was stolen, that it was puppeteered by people behind the scenes, and that the Democratic Party orchestrated it to their favor. That's all passed. They've ignored all of the evidence that has been brought forward. It's all been debunked, and so we won't rehash that. But ever since they've been in power, Democrats have been passing laws to give themselves more and more power. That's not debatable. Whether you believe that they're doing it in an ill manner or anything like that, the simple fact is that the laws that are being passed are giving the Democrat Party more power. And then yesterday, somebody up high decided that the Democrats could have another financial, whatever it is, revolution. They don't call it that, but when they have these budget resolutions, it gives them the ability to pass laws without a supermajority. Most of the things that go through the House and go through the Senate have to have a supermajority. You can't just have 51 to 49 because that's too easy to swing and it's too easy to fake and it's too easy to intimidate a senator or a House representative to go another way. You have to have a supermajority. That way you know that it is the will of the majority to do a certain thing. But during this budget resolution process, anything that has to do with money, taxes, things like that, don't need a supermajority. 51 Democrats can pass a law without any Republican input. You're only supposed to have 2 of these once per every fiscal year, essentially. So 2 times before every primary. Except somebody came through and says, hey, our economy is in shambles. You can go ahead and do another one because things are so bad. This means just like they did last time, they'll be able to pass relief bills, stimulus without any Republican input. This has become so blatantly partisan that it is impossible to ignore anymore. They have made it to where they can do what they please and what they think is okay without having to conduct or consult the will of the people or the will of their partners on the Republican side. You need to understand that there is a plan going on to take away your liberties. Somebody has an idea of what they think the country should be, and they don't care what anybody else thinks. They're going to try to make it happen. And at this point, they're manipulating the law. They're manipulating things to do whatever they want to do to make it look legal. But you understand, all legal means is that somebody in the right seat signed a piece of paper saying that it was okay. And right now, the progressives, the liberals, they have the power. And so they're passing things that is not democratic. We are not living in a democracy at this point. It is quickly becoming totalitarian and partisan run. And we need to fight back. Figuratively fight back. You need to call your representative. You need to make your voice heard. Do whatever it takes. Stand out in the street with a bullhorn. Get onto a streaming service and make your voice heard. The more people do this, the more people hear. If 5 people hear me and one of them does this, and 5 people hear them and one of them does it, and 5 people hear them and does it, we can start to make some noise. But we're gonna get steamrolled if we keep being silent. Let's see if they take this one down. This is Reality Unplugged. Let the revolution begin.